Welcome back, AI engineers in the making. Week one was the appetizer. We learned about variables, loops, conditions. You learned to work. Now we are going to fly. We are going to build the backbone of every AI system on the planet. Welcome to week two, data structure and data processing. Here is what we are covering today. And trust me, this is the week that changes everything. We've got lists, tuples, dictionary, set. These are your data weapons. Then we are mastering string manipulation because real world data is messy. We will unlock the power of list comprehension, the secret source of professional Python coders, and then we are going to build real projects, including an AI enterprise recruitment system that could literally get you higher. Now, let's go. Okay, let's start with list here. Now, think of list like your phone contact list. It's just collection of items, one after another. You can add people, remove people, update their info. And the best part, you can loop through them and process each one. In AI, we use lists for everything: training data, candidate databases, census reading. It's literally everywhere. Here is the magic. If you can organize a glossary list, you can work with Python lists. Now, let me show you where this shows up in the real world. We have AI training data. Yep, that's a giant list of example. We also have candidate databases. Your future job applicants are in a list. We have customer records. We have sales reports. We have chat messages from your apps. We also have sensor data from IoT devices, machine learning data sets, all lists. If you are a data engineer or an AI engineer, you are working with lists all day, every single day. So let's build one. So let's practice day one of week two. Let's practice list. I'm going to, like as I said, this is going to be project oriented. We are going to be using like a smaller chunk of project to explain everything. So I'm going to, let's say, working with list, then so this project will be candidate registration system. So candidate registration system. So I'm very sure you are familiar with using the print functions. I'm going to use what we used in our week one. So let's do this. See, I want to generate 15 line of equal to. Then I'll use the print. Just kindly ignore the generated lines. So I will say candidate registration system. Candidate registration system. So then okay, so we have another line again. So let's save and then let's test let's test it. And then just to be the safer side, just to run it. Okay, so let's see. Um so we can say Python. Okay, sorry, I need to Python, then week. Okay, so we have this now. It's working. So let's continue. So we'll say we'll now create a list. Create a list. So this is how to create a list. So to create a list. Oh God. Okay, so candidate. So candidates equal. So square bracket is going to denote the list. So we say John. Then we say Mary. Then we are going to say David. Then you can use any other name that are kind of precious to you in order to do this. It's not a must that it must follow the names I'm using. But this is basically how to create a list. So this is a list. So I'm using this as an example of a list. So I'm going to print. So let's print. Let's print this. So I will use the backward slash n for new line. But we need it to be a new line. So let's say registration, registration, registration of registered. Let's just say registered candidate, registered candidates. Then this. So we cannot use our loop now. Can use our loop for then can bring our candidate list in candidate candidates. So then let's print. So this is as simple as ABC, but it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So okay. So I want to also put the print keyword here. Then backward slash n. I will say total. Let's say total candidates, total candidates, total candidates. Um, so then you cannot use this function. It is called length function to look for the length of how many candidates we have. So if you run it now, it should get your. So you can make claims. So you can say. So you can see. Let's enlarge it. You can say Python week 2. Okay, run. Then AI candidate registration system. The registered candidates John, Mary, David, Sarah, Michael, and total candidate is what is 5. So hope you understand from the theory to the practice section. Here we printed out 50 lines of the assignment operator using this multiplication. On this, we did this in our week 1. Then this line, we printed this just to structure our. Then here is a list. There's a line we created a list. Then for just a proper structure, we just register candidate. Then we loop. This is the list. We loop and pass the value into this one. Then loop here. Then to look for the total number of candidates, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can say total candidates. We use a length function. The length function we print out what? We print out the total number of candidates. Let's move on to the next example. So yeah, the next example here, or rather the next project. So we can say employee. We want to do something like database employee database. Still working on list. Still working on list. This is very interesting. So we can say employees equals to, then don't forget your square bracket. Then same. You see how easy it is. At least just put the list. Bob. Then the next one, you can say Charles. Sorry. You can say Charles or Charlie. Let's just make it Charlie. Charlie. So then we can say David. We can say Ima. So we have the list here now. Then what we can print, we can say print. So let's just say employee database. So let's use our normal traditional way of just bringing out some values. Then we'll say this. So we want this line to be 30. So let's look through now. So we can look through the employee. So we'll say employee, employee in employees. Don't forget employee in employees. Then this. So we can print employee, print employee. So when we run our program, you can see employee database. Then printed out the list of employee as simple as ABC. So as I said, what we are doing, we are just trying to turn our practice into project-oriented pattern. Then let's do another one. Let's do another one. This is still day one. So let's say, let's just create another one. So let's just say assessing list items. Assessing list items. Yeah, so let's say let's just say products. So we are assuming you visited the mall and you bought items. So let's say you bought a laptop, and you bought phone, could be any phone, iPhone, Samsung, Infinix, any phone of your choice, so tablets. Then let's say monitor. Um, then so and then we can print them one after the other. And just print them this way. Don't forget, print this way. We can say products. If we don't want to loop, we can do this. We can do this like this. So we can decide to do it like this. So we can say, I can say 1, 2, and 3. So you see, so each list has an index ID, or index identifier. So the laptop is in what? Index 1, phone is in index 2, the laptop is in index 0, phone is index 1, tablet index 2, while monitor index 3. So when you run and come here, then print, you see you are able to print everything out. Now let's quickly do another one again. So don't forget our traditional way, practice. So let's say modifying modifying lists modifying list. So the list can also be modified. So let's say we have products. So I'm going to copy that same product that we created below. So this the product. So this is it. So now we can choose to print the whole product. So let's say product, and I'm going to run. Sorry, before I run, let me so you can see the product is being printed. So after printing the product, now I want to change this phone, I want to change it to iPhone. So I can say product, then you will put the ID, which is an index number, then just say iPhone, change it to iPhone. Then let's print product again. This is after it has been changed. Let's print product again. Let's say products. Let's see the result. So you see, you have the first line. The first line is laptop, phone, tablet, and monitor. Then the second line is giving you laptop, iPhone, tablet, and monitor. So this is how modify you can modify a list. So now let's do a project again. Let's do a project again that has to do with list. Has to do with list. Okay, so we are going to title it AI training data set. So I will say scores. So the first one I'm going to say 85. Then I'll say 72. I'll say 95. Then 88. Then 90. Then 67. Then 78. So now you can always say um So AI training datasets. So we have this now. We can now loop through. Let's loop. So score, for score in, scores, for score in scores. So we have print score. So let's print score. So let's say let's just use the print statement to give some space. So I can say print. Then we'll now say highest. We can say highest. So highest score equals to. Then we can use another function again called mass. They call the function mass to get the maximum score. Mass score. Then we are going to use mean also. So mean. So to find the lowest score. These are some functions that you can use for list. So we have mean, then you print your score. So then also average, then score. So you can say sum. Um, let's say sum. So sum. Let's sum. Oh, let's sum the score. So when we sum it, we have to divide. We are looking for the average and to divide using the length, using the length function. So the length is how many? Let's count. So the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to divide by 7. That will give you the average score. I'll give you the average score. So let's run it, and then I'm sure we should get our result. So AI data set, then these are the scores. The AI training data set, these are the score. Then the highest score is 95, while the lowest score is 67. Then the average score is this. There's also a method that you can use. So you can use to round this. You can use it to round this, or you can just leave it that way. So let's continue. Um, if I'm to give you some assignments, you can create a list, of 5 countries. Then another one, you can also create a list of 5 AI tools. You can search online for AI tools if you don't know. Then the last assignment, you can print each item, print each item using a loop, Then I think the last one should be print total number of item of item of items. So thank you for staying with me on day one. Continue to watch and learn. Don't forget to practice. That is the main goal of these lessons. The goal is for you to practice. Thank you. Now let's talk about tuples. If lists are your editable documents, tuples are your signed contracts. They cannot be changed once created. They are faster than lists, more memory efficient, and perfect for things that should never change. Think of them as your configuration settings, your database connection, your AI model hyperparameters, things that are set in stone. Use tuples when you want to protect your data from accidental changes. Now the question is, where do we use tuple in the real world? Let me blow your mind. Now we can use tuple in AI model configuration, like the GPT-5 that has 8,192 tokens. We can also use tuple in cloud infrastructure settings, like your AWS region, Ubuntu version, and RAM spec. We can also use tuple in database connection string as well. Then we can also use tuple in application metadata. Then we can also use tuple in system configuration. Now, if you are building enterprise software, you will see tuple everywhere. They are like the skeleton of your system, stable, reliable, and unchangeable. So let's work with tuple. Practice tuple well. So here, I will just say working with tuples. Working with tuples. Now, like our normal tradition, we are going to be using a sample like sample project to explain everything. So I have a sample one, AI model configuration. So this is what I'll use to explain the tuple. So I'll say model underscore config equals to, then if you print tuple, be creating tuple, it's going to be this open and close bracket. Then I will just let me just do something like this. I'll say code GTPT. Sorry, GPT. So version 5. Then the next one I will do something like so 8,192. So this is the token. Then okay, let's put it. It's an integer, so let's put it here. Remove it from the quotes. Then let's say English. Then okay, let's do true. So here, print. When you print, so print model config. Okay, so let's print. So we will get the response GPT-5 8192 and English, then true. Now let's create another one again. So all we are doing here, we are creating tuples. Then another one again. You can say example 2. You can say cloud server. Let's just complete it. Cloud server configuration. Cloud server configuration. So you can say server underscore config equal to this. Then AWS. The next one could be Ubuntu. The next would be 16 gig. 16 gig RAM. That's the capacity. Then so we can say 8 CPUs for the state. Then let's print. Okay, let's loop. So we can say item in what's the name? Server config. So as of now, I'm sure you are used to using loop. It's as simple as this. There's nothing more. Man. So when you run, you get it. You get this AWS, Ubuntu, 16 gig RAM, then 8 CPU. So simple. I need to comment this so it will not be printing every time I run the next one. So let's check it again. And then print. So only that one will show up. Are you sure something else is not there? Okay, so okay, so let me say this. Let me clear it. First of all, after doing that, we will save. We didn't save. So always remember to save. So you are going to see AWS Ubuntu 16 gig RAM and 8 CPUs. So then the next one. So for you to master all this topic and all these concepts, try to practice, create exercises with them, turn your exercise to mini projects and okay, so let's do a project. Let's say project So I'm going to name this project. Then I'll say the name of the project is AI project meta data. So say project equal to this. Then I'm going to say AI recruitment recruitment AI recruitment system. Fast API. Okay, just this fast API. Fast API is also a new Python framework. We are going to do that in this series. Postgres SQL. So then we have open AI. Open AI. So now let's come down. So print, let's just do this equal to, then we can say multiply 40. So we just want to beautify everything. So we can say project, okay, print, um, let's just say project detail, then print, so let's just say 40. Then let's look now. So you can look this way, item in project. We are simple as that. Then we call the item inside our print item. So we are good. So let's clear and then call. So you can see this is our first project AI recruitment system. So inside the recruitment system, what they need is Python, Fast API, Postgres SQL, and OpenAI. This is it. So we used everything we use is what we used. Basically, all we use is Drupal. That's what we use in creating this. Then the last one is exercise. Like I say, I will always give you exercise for you to have time to practice for yourself. So I'll give you some exercise. So I'll say, okay, let me just say exercises. Do them, post them on the comment section. Let's discuss. Let me see your creativity. So I can say create a tuple, create a tuple containing 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 project name, then language, then next database, then cloud, cloud, and print all, print all values, print all value. So yes, so this is your assignment. Work on it, practice them, and post it on the comment section. Let me see how you are progressing, and let me see how you are following up with the course. Don't forget, we just rounded off with tuples, and practice tuple is unchangeable, and it's something you can use in order to use for a lot of configuration as well. Things that want to stay normal as it is. Thank you for this section. Continue with the lesson, and you are learning a lot. Now we are getting to the juicy stuff. Dictionaries. Imagine you are at a restaurant. You say, I want a pizza. That's a key. The waiter brings you pizza. That's the value. That's a dictionary. It's a key value pairing. Name, we give you John. Role, we give you AI engineer. Country, we give you United Kingdom. It's like having a real world database right in your Python code. This is how you present or represent people, products, anything with attributes. Now the question is, where do dictionary dominate? Dictionary dominates everywhere. For example, we have the user profiles in social media apps. We have the employee records in HR system. We have the customer record in CRM softwares. We have the API. You know the things that makes apps talk to each other. They send data as dictionaries. We also have AI predictions. Your ML model returns a dictionary with predictions and confidence scores. Now, database record pull straight into dictionaries. If you can master dictionaries, you can master 80% backend development period. So let's start with working with dictionary. Now I'm going to use AI engineering profile. AI engineering, AI engineering profile. So I'll create engineering. Engineer. I'm going to use curly braces. When when you are creating dictionary, you use curly braces. When you are creating a list, you use square brackets. While you are creating a tuple, you use normal brackets. So say name, then John, um, then we have row. So say AI engineer, then experience. John has 3 years experience. John has 3 years experience. Um, so I'll put this, then Android. So I'll say United Kingdom. Kingdom. So I'm going to do this. Then I will say engineering. Yes, so engineering, when I run, let me clear first and run it. So you can see name John, role AI engineer, then experience 3 years, country United Kingdom. So as tradition, I will clear again. Then I'll do another one. This comment so it all runs out nicely with the new one. So the next one I'll say assessing value. Assessing value. So I'm going to bring this. I'll bring this. I'll bring this. Bring this comment. Comment this. So when I comment this, I want to show you how to assess the value of a dictionary. So assessing the value of a dictionary is something like this. So I can assess name the same way I can assess role the same way I can assess experience as well. So when we run it, this is how you can assess the value. Okay, so yes, so there's an issue. There's an issue, print engineer. So let's check. So here it's capital letter. So instead, let's make it small letter. Then run it. You can see we have John, AI engineer, and John has 3 years experience. So let's do the next exercise. Still on dictionary. So we can say assessing. Let's say candidate evaluation. Candidate evaluation. So candidate evaluation. So I'll say candidate dictionary. Don't forget name. So we say analyst. Analyst is our usual person. We normally use analyst. And then so we can say Alice has Alice got 90 in Python SQL. So Alice got 85 SQL exam, and in machine learning, machine underscore learning, Alice got 88. So if we loop, so let's say key in candidates. So let's say next. So let's say key, then separate this. Let's say this, then the value. So we can say value candidates, then we have something like, let's say key. So you run. So we have name and what and the key. Alice, name Alice. Python, he got 90. SQL, he got 85. Machine learning, he got 88. Sorry, she, not he. Alice is a female. So let's go to another one again. Don't forget to comment it. Let's go to another one again. All we are practicing is so practicing dictionary. So student record. So we can say student, so student ID, one. Then we have name, then David, then we have score, then 92. 92. So if I print this, I can decide to print this like this. I can decide to just print only the student. So this will bring everything out, including the keys and values. So ID 1001, name David, score is 92. So let's do a mini project. This, if we do this, we can do this. So let's say project. So our project will be AI data set record. AI data set record. So you can say data set equals to the test to let's say data set record, so that the name will be corresponding with the title. So we have records underscore ID. So the ID is 1. Then we have customer underscore name. So we have games. Then we also have purchase underscore amount. Purchase underscore amount. That will be 1 7. Then we have country. Then United Kingdom. So if we say print, then we have something like this 40. Something like this 40. So you can say print data set record. Data set record. Then we can say print. Then so now loop. Let's loop. And can say data set underscore record. So, yeah, we say print key So we'll now bring our dataset record. So our dataset record, we are going to print the key, which will stand as the value. So let's say, so it's going to bring out key value, key value, key value, key value. So more or less like key value. So you can see we have something like this. We have this dataset record. Record 81, customer name James, purchase amount 1,005, country United Kingdom. So definitely the purchase is in pounds. So that is it. This is it. So the assignment for this. So I will give you some exercises. So create a dictionary for um, employee. Then you should have name, department, salary, country, country, and print or value or value. Yes. So thank you for watching, and remain stay with the lesson as we are going. So remain consistent. That is it about dictionary. All right. Let me introduce you to the bouncer of data structures. Set. Imagine you are throwing a party. You have a guest list with duplicate names, but you only want unique guests. Set automatically remove duplicates. No questions asked. It's like magic. They improve data quality, clean your data set, and make your AI model more reliable. If you've ever dealt with messy data, and you will, Set will save your life. All right, so let me tell you where Set shine. Email deduplication. You don't want to send the same email to the same person twice. We also have attendance system. John can clock in twice. Then we have AI data set cleaning. You need unique label for training your model. We have data engineering, we have machine learning, we have analytics. Now, if you want to clean data, you need set. This isn't optional. People, this is the standard. So let's continue with sets. Working with sets. I'm going to be showing you some examples. Example one. So first one is removing or remove duplicates. So let's just say duplicate emails. So I'm going to create a list of emails. This is a list. We did it in our first section. List of email. So I'll say John at gmail.com. Then the next one is Mary at gmail.com. Then I would say let's just put John again because that's the major aim to remove duplicate. So let's create duplicate on purpose. So still another John. Then let's say Alice at gmail.com. Then we are still going to have another Mary at Gmail. So we have two duplicates. Don't forget, we say our major aim is to make it unique, no duplicates. So let's say unique underscore email. So we want unique emails, no duplicates. So how do? We can convert this list. We will come here and convert the list to set. So let's say I use the set method and say email. So the name of the list is email. So we have converted it to what? To set now. So let's print. So to print, we'll print unique email. So let's print and let's see the output. So finally, we should see this. We have Alice john@gmail.com, john@gmail.com, and mary@gmail.com. You will never see John twice, Mary twice, Ali twice, because basically set is set to remove duplicates. That's the standard. So I hope you are understanding and grabbing the knowledge set. Now let's do another example again. Example, let's say attendance. So let's say example 2, attendance attendance system. Attendance system. So let's say attendance equals to. So we are going to create another list again. So the first person is John, second person is Mary, third person is Sarah, and fourth person after Sarah we still have John. So let's just put David. Okay, let's leave Alice. Let's put David. Then let's put another Mary. Let's put another Mary. So basically we have Mary here. We also have Mary here. We have John. We still have John here. Let's introduce another duplicate. Let's say we have Alice, and we still have Alice here. Good. So basically, we can now say unique underscore attend. Let me just say attend equals to set. So this is set method to convert. We are using it to convert list to set. So we can now say unique attend. So unique attend. Then when you run it, it will give you the unique list. It will give you all the lists: John, Sarah, Mary, David, and Alice. There's no introduction of duplicates. There's no introduction of duplicates. Everything there is unique. Nobody has two names coming there. Now, let's create a project. So the name of our project is AI data sets, then cleaning, dataset cleaner. So dataset cleaner. So let's say labels. So we are going to create a list of labels. So first one is position or positive. Let's just say positive. The second one is negative. The third one is okay. Let's say positive again. Why the next one could be neutral. Then okay, let's just say negative, which is the last one. So we can say clean underscore labels. So here convert our list to set by using this set method. So this, then we can now say print original labels. Then we can say print labels. Then let's say just print, make it some gap. Then let's say print. Then we can say unique label. Label. So let's run it so you can see our program. This is our mini project. So let's run. And then first I'll clean, then run. When you run, you will see the original label is positive, negative, positive, neutral, negative. Then unique label, after using set. The original one is list. The second one is set. We have negative, we have neutral, and we have positive. So these are the neutral. So this is the result after using set. So there is no duplicates. So set help in eliminating duplicates, removing duplicates from your program, So if you want unique data, the best thing to use is set. So let me give you some exercises on this, exercises that you can do. So I will say create a list containing duplicate countries. Please paste your results on the comment section. Let me see. Then convert it to a set. Convert it to a set. And print it. Print the result. Print the results. It's as simple as this. So this is the exercise you can do. Please take this as an assignment. Print, practice it, go through it, come up with your own idea, put some design also using a print method or function. So paste your output, paste your code in the comment section. Let's see the best, the one that can come out, the one that will emerge the best. Thank you. Just continue the lesson. Now, we are going to talk about something that will make or break your AI career. That's text processing. Think about it. When you use Chat GPT, you are typing tests. When you review Amazon products, you are reading tests. When you send a message, you are using tests. AI system process tests everywhere. We have the prompt, we have the message, we have the email, review, document, and piece of customer feedback is a test. If you can't process tests, you can't build AI system. Period. That's the message. Now, here are your essential tools. We have the upper function. The upper function makes everything to be in uppercase. Then we have the lower function. The lower function makes everything to be in lowercase. This one keeps it quiet. We have the title. The title function, like a title of a book. We have the strip. The strip cleans the white space. Then we have the split. This one breaks text into pieces. Now, this five method, just five, will handle 90% of your text processing needs. Learn them, practice them. You will be handling data like a pro. Let me show you how you will do this. So let's talk about string manipulation. String manipulation. So we are going to use some example here. So this is example one. So let's just say name formatter. So name formatter. So we'll say name equals to John. So John Smith. So when you print and say name dot upper, so this is going to make John Smith uppercase, going to be in an uppercase. So let's run. See, you can see John Smith is in uppercase. So we can also do name, turning them to lowercase, So, but before then, let's just do something like this. So, to not be like, so we'll be convinced. So, we have something like this. Let's run. So, if you run it, you will see John Smith, uppercase, then John Smith, lowercase. So, the next one, we have print, then name dot title. So, this one will make every first letter of the word uppercase. Every first letter, like doing this in the book title. So you can see John is in uppercase, X is in uppercase. So it's always like that. That's for title. So let's do another one. So now this time, let's say example two. We'll say chat message cleaner. Chat message cleaner. So we'll say message equal to. So I will give some space here. Say hello AI. Then I will say engineer. So we'll still give some space as well. Then let's say clean underscore message. Underscore message. Then we can now say message dot strict. So this one will strip all the white space. It will remove the white space and give you a decent your decent response. Okay. Okay, let's say clean message. Clean message. So for us to know that it is working well, let's print the message. Let's print the message. So you will know before strip and after strip. So let's run it. So you can see before stripping there was space, but after stripping there's no longer space. So let's clean. Then the next one, um, put another example again. Example three. Then we have prompt analyzer, prompt analyzer. Prompt analyzer. So we have prompt equals to input. Then so let's just say enter. The next one is print. So let's just say character. So it's going to print the character. Then let's say then so from then print say words. Then let's say the length of the word. Then we'll say prompt dot split. So just to show you how the split method work. So if we do this, then we say welcome to our class. So you see, it prints the character, it counts the character, then it will use the split method. Is going to split. It's going to split this statement. This welcome to our class. So it will split them into four. Welcome to our and class. So it will count the word. Now it's counting the word, not character. The first one, this one, the length, is used to count the character. Why the split is used to count words, is used to count the word. So let's go to another example. Another example. So example, I think this should be example 4. Sorry. Example 4. Then we are going to name this email validation. So email validation. So let's say for instance we have email equals to input email. So you say enter email. Okay, so let's just put this. Okay, enter email. Then we can say if at in email, then print valid email. Yes, invalid email. So you can see this another way of validating email. But although yeah, we are learning, but we have professional way of doing this. But it is good you learn this and you understand the foundation. So let's run this and we get, let's say u.com. So it will tell you invalid email. But if we run and say you@gmail.com. You see, it will tell you valid email because it's seeing this at. Seeing this at. Seeing this at. Yeah. So let's do our project for this section. So our project for this section is so let's say project. So we'll say customer feedback analyzer. That's the project for this session. Customer feedback analyzer. So we'll name this feedback. I'll say input. Then let's say enter feedback. Enter feedback. Then can use print to give some space. So you can say print original feedback. Then we say print feedback. Then let's put another space again. Then we can now say print uppercase. So we'll say print feedback. So we can say this. Then let's run the feedback. I love the product. So you can see, I love the product. Original feedback, I love the product. Uppercase, I love the product. So it printed the original feedback, then it changed the feedback to what? To uppercase. Then we can see expand on it. Let's just say print. Then we can say just to use what we have learned before. So we can say word count. Then we say print. Then so we can now say feedback dot split. So it's going to count the word, not character. You know, if you're counting character, it should be okay. So let's just clean. So we'll do this. I love the product. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the original and this is the uppercase. Then word count is what? Is 4. It gives you 4. I love the product. So someone might say, if I remove, sorry, why is it doing this? Okay, so let's clean. One, I love this product. So you can see, so it works, but it works the way split should actually work. So you have word count. We are supposed to say split sentence into a word. So here everything is being split. So these are the reason why it counts 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we eventually compare, so we could say word split. Then we can come here and say, instead of word split, you can come here and say word count now. So let's say word count. So to count it, you just put this and then come here, and that is it. So when you clear and then run, let's say I love this product. So you can see, so we have the original feedback. I love this product. I love this product in capital or in uppercase. Then word split, it splits the statement into um word. I love this product. Then word count counts the word there. So the word here is what is 4. It count the word, but it's not counting it as character. So that is it. Now we are entering the big leagues, list comprehension. This is where Python becomes art. Where other languages require 5 lines of code, Python does it in one clean code, less typing, more efficient, professional Python style. If you want to look like an expert in interview, use list comprehension. They are not just fancy, they are faster and more Pythonic. This is the difference between junior and senior developer when it comes to Python. Now, the question is this: where do we use list comprehension? Now, list comprehension is used everywhere professional Python is written. We can use them in data processing, where transforming millions of records is possible. Then we also have data cleansing, where removal of bad values are also possible. Then we have filtering, selecting specific rows. This is where we select specific row. Then we also have normalization. Normalization, this is where the scaling of numbers between zeros and one is also possible. Then we have analytics, calculating metrics on the fly. Now, machine learning, preprocessing features. If you want to process data at scale, list comprehensions are your turbo button. This is your go-to when it comes to list comprehension. So let's practice list comprehension. I'm going to write working with list comprehension. Now I will put I'll just put one example one. So I'll say basic list comprehension. So basic list comprehension. So I'm going to create a simple list here. So say we already know how to create list. I think you should be familiar with this by now. So say number for number for numbers for number in range. So I can put 1 and then 11. So then let's print. So I can say print. Then I'll say, let's just say print numbers. Print numbers. So yes, it will print and then list number from 1 to 10. So basically, you are looking through this. You are looking through this. Then instead, normally when we use for loop, we put this inside here. So instead, we are assigning this inside this place. We are assigning this inside this numbers. So when we call the numbers, it will bring it out. So let's go to number 2. Example 2. I'm going to just comment here. Then I will do this example 2. Example 2. So this example 2 is going to be AI score booster. AI score booster. So I'll say score equals to list. Then I'll say 60, 70, 70. Then I'll say 80. Then 90. Okay, so that's it. Then I'll say boosted underscore scores equals to. Then let's put our list here. So let's say score plus 5. Okay, let me just put this 5. Then I can say 4. Score in scores and print. Then print. This is so unique, guys. So unique and interesting. You see, so just save it and then clear. Okay, so let me do this now. And then if I run, I will get this. I'll get this output. It will list it out. So it's still the same thing. This is my list. Sorry, here is my list. Here is my list, and now this is assigned to this. Then it's adding five. It's adding five to this. Adding five to this. So you have for loop, which is looking through this list. It's looking through this list. So this is looking through this, and it's being assigned to this. So you print this out. So when you run, you get this. So let's go to the next example. Guys, practice this thing. The more you practice it, the more you understand. Don't expect anybody to put it in your head. You have to practice. You have to own it. Own it to yourself. With just few times, you are good. Then I will say score. So candidate filter. So say this. Then let's say 40, comma 85 or 82, comma 90, 55, 72. So now I can say, let's say qualified. Qualified equals to, so you can say score now. So when you say score, you now put your 4, then scores. Scores. So I'm sure you get the idea now. So you can use if score greater than or equals to 70, then this. So here is the concept of filtering. So now let's print qualify. So we can do this now. Can now do this. So you can see 82, 90, 72. So you say if score is greater than or equals to 70, then print. But it's not going to print 55. It's not going to print 45. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Hope you are getting it. So the next one is example 4. Then we have data normalization. Normalization. So we can have values. Okay, let me do this. Values equals to, then we have 100, we have 200, we have 300, 400. So now normalized equals to, can now say this. So I'm very sure you understand this now. So let's divide by 100. And then let's say for value in values. So here we go. Then you print normalize. This is what you will print. Then you will get this. So this is what you get after normalizing the data. You will get this. So as a normal tradition, I'm going to give you exercise as usual that you will do and submit to the comment section. Do them, don't rush them. You can submit them in different days. You are welcome to ask any question. Let's discuss on the comment section. So I will say create a list. sorry, create a list, create a list. Then I will say add 10 to every number. Then create another list. So this is the exercise you need to do and the assignment. Do it, post it to the comment section. Let's discuss. Let's see if you got it right. And let's see how you have been able to analyze it. Thank you for watching. Continue with the lesson. All right, team. It's time to put it all together. We are going to build 3 mini AI projects. A resume scanner that check if candidates have the right skill. A sentiment detector that analyzes customer comments. A student performance analyzer that finds top performers. This ain't theory. These are real application. Let's build and come with us. Let's do this. So, all right, we will start our day 7 with our first mini project. So I will name it mini AI project. Then, okay, let's just say project 1. Then I'll give the project a name. So let's just say resume scanner. Resume scanner. So, so basically, this project is going to scan applicants' resume and check if their skills meet up to what the employer is seeking for. Then they will be they will get feedback from the employer. So basically, I will just for proper design. We've been doing this from our week 1 for proper design. Sorry. So then I will put the title print. Then let's say AI resume scanner. AI resume scanner. Then I'll come here and so like I say, this is just for proper design and let's just run our system and be sure everything is working. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so AI resume scanner. Let's do something like this person. Okay, so I think it's fine now. So so let's say keywords. What the what the company want who create keywords. Let's create a list that has keywords. So first one is the company wants Python, somebody that is proficient with Python, like yourself. Then SQL, somebody that is proficient with structured query language. Then machine learning. Um, so they need someone with cloud knowledge of cloud, and they also need someone with AI knowledge. So I hope you are following it. So we'll say resume equals to. So let's use input to collect the resume from the applicant. So let's just say paste resume. So we are going to use paste some text there. So paste resume. Then we will say resume, then resume dot lower. Now the reason for this is we don't want a process where the keyword will be there. The keyword will be there, but it's not going to recognize it because it is what it is. It's in uppercase. So we want a process where even when the applicant enter uppercase, it will change everything to what lowercase. So that's why we are forcing this. So we will say score. This is what we will use to determine how many keywords that this company needs that is in your resume. So let's say keyword in keywords. So then we'll use if statement if keywords in resume. if keyword in resume. So if the keyword is in your resume, then increase the score. It means do not erase what is already stored in this score. So I'm going to say score plus. Score is equals to score plus 1. So to cut it short, I can always say plus equal to 1. So that is the short form of it. So then I will say print keyword, then it will now say found. So to say so keyword found. So just for some spacing, then I will say print resume, score. So it's going to enter the score based on what the program has found out. So this is the score. Then now let's rate it. If score is greater than or equal to 4. So if the keyword that you have in your CV is about 4 of what we have in this criteria, it will say excellent match. So tell us excellent match. Then let's use if score is greater than or equal to 2, we say print. So in this case, just know that if they didn't see anyone, then you will be called. They will not leave somebody that score excellent and come and pick you. So X. So you should always aim to score excellent. It means you have to make sure your skills are top notch. So needs improvement. So now let's test. So you can see. So this is it. Very structured program. So let's move this up. So let's clear, and as we run. So let's run. So we say paste your resume. You can say I am Joe. I have Python, C Sharp, Cloud, and then what again? Let's just say Java. So Python found, Cloud found, resume score is 2, good match. So the match is what? The match is a bit poor. So let's go again. Let's say I am Jude, and I have Python. Let's make this resume qualify. I have SQL. I'm putting uppercase, so machine learning. Then we have a cloud. So I want this guy to meet the whole skill. So you can see. So you can see Python found, SQL found, machine learning found, cloud found, AI found. So resume score is what? Resume score is 5, and is what? This is an excellent match. So this is an application that is a bit simple, but this is the foundation of how resume application work. So practice it, learn it, understand it, erase it, build your own. You will see how easy it is. So this is where we use this is where we use list. Then we use our input function. Then we use our lower function to lower the keyword. Then this is where we store our score here. And then we use our loop, we use our if statement. Also we printed out. Then we use if statement and else statement here, and if else statement here as well. Thank you for going through this and then practice alongside. So let's go to the second project. Let's go to the second project. So the second project is mini AI projects 2. Mini AI project 2. So we say AI sentiment detector, sentiment detector. So I'm assuming you already know what sentiment is. Sentiments are just some good words that is being pronounced or being said about something or about us. Now let's build our structure again. So we'll say by now you should be used to this pattern. Should be used to this pattern just because we are using console and trying to make sure the look is fine. Just structure the structuring the data. So we'll say AI sentiments detector, AI sentiment detector. So let's give some gap. Let's give some gap. So you remember if you want to trim away this space, this gap, we use split function. So for now we need a gap, we need a space. So then now say this equal to, then say 50. So let's run and then let's come here and boom, boom. Let's test this. So we have sentiment detector. So let's continue. Let's continue. Then uh, so let's say positive. Boom, boom, see positive words. Positive words. So let's say positive words. Then we can say how many times did good appear. So excellent. Excellent. Please kindly follow these lessons well. If you follow these lessons well, when we really dig deep into AI programming, you will see how easy it is. You will be creating AI application. These things are not hard. They are simple as ABC. So we have good, excellent, great, and amazing. So this is a keyword, positive keyword that we have. Now we want to collect comment from the user. I want to check the comment against this positive keyword that we have. If um if anyone appear, I want to see how many times they appear. So we'll say comment, then input. Then we'll now say, don't forget, we have to turn it into lowercase so that to avoid something that will not work well. Then we can now say, now let's count positive underscore count. Let's count. So we'll make it zero so we can add to it. So let's say forward in forward in positive words. So we say if words in comment, if word in comment. So don't forget now everything inside this list has been assigned to this word now. So we have the list inside this word. We are now saying if word in comment, in this comment, we receive comment from the user. The comment are what? Are turned into lowercase. So if words in comments, if the word are in comments, then we can say positive count. If the word is there, we can say positive count is equal to what? One. So add one if the word is in comment. So let's put some space. Then we say print positive positive um, positive score. So we'll now say positive positive count. Now bring in the positive count. So to keep counting, then let's say now let's rate it. If positive count is greater than or equal to 3, so we'll say print very positive feedback. Very positive feedback. Very positive feedback. Sorry. If positive count greater than or equal to 1. So this one is a bit poor. So we'll print positive Positive feedback. Feedback. So the other one is very positive feedback, but this one is just positive feedback because it's just greater than one. So at least it's good, but it's not great. So you can say print, let's just say neutral. Let's just say neutral. So it's not greater than one, so it could be just neutral. So neutral feedback. Feedback. So feedback. So you can see this is the word good, excellent, and the rest of it. So let's run it and then come here and see this. So let's say comment. This is very good. This is very good and excellent. Indeed, indeed, indeed. So you can say positive score is true. Then feedback is what? Positive feedback. Let's see. So it is true. It is positive feedback. But if you want very very positive feedback, so we can say we can use good, excellent, and great. So let's go. Let's say let's clear. Let's clear. Then let's say this. So we can say this is a very assignment. Assignment. Great and excellent work indeed. So you can see this is positive score. You can see positive score is 3. Very positive feedback. So this is what is known as what? Sentiment analysis. This is just the foundation. Understand this and you will know that AI is easy. Please don't just rush into using libraries using this. Understand this from the root, from the foundation, and you will understand everything when it comes to AI. You will not start copying code that you don't understand. So thank you for staying till this time. Let's move to the next project. Let's move to the next project. Okay, so um the next one is project 3. The next one is project 3. So we'll say mini project, mini AI project. So let's say project 3. Then we'll say student student performance analysis. Okay, let's just say analyzer. 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 So student performance analyzer. So this is a great one. Okay, instead of repeating the same thing, let me just copy this. So we'll not start typing the same thing every time. Let me just copy this, and come here, paste them. Well, we advise you to code them because the more you write this code, the more you get used to it. So come here, let's say student. So let's just say student uh, performance analyzer. So student performance analyzer. So we'll say students. So here we are going to have a dictionary. This is a dictionary. So we'll say John. We'll say John. Then John got 88. Then we'll say Mary. So you remember anything that has to do with dictionary has to do with value and pair, key value pair. So Mary got 95. Mary got 95. Then the second person, David. David David got 72. David got 72. Why? Sarah. Why Sarah? Sarah got 191. So I'll say highest underscore student. First of all, we want to get the highest student. So let's make it empty. Then highest score. Let's say highest underscore score. So we'll make it 0. So we don't have the highest score yet. So then let's say total score. So total score, we will make it 0. We don't have the total score yet. Now watch me as we do this. So we say for students, and students. Don't forget when you use this for, you have passed this whole of students into this variable now called student. So it's as simple as that. So we'll say score. Score is a new variable. We say score is equal to student. Student. We say student. Then when we use square bracket, we want to bring the student here. So student. Then we say total score. Total score is equals to, or let's say equal to score. Plus equals to score. So okay, so everything that we have here already, we are adding to it. So then we have so let's say if score, sorry for my typo, if score is greater than highest, if score is greater than highest score, let's put this, then we will say highest score equals to score, then highest student equals to student. So now let's look for the average. Don't forget, average, you add everything and divide by the total. It means we are going to make use of len function. So we say score equals to total score divide, don't forget, we say len. So we are going to divide the length of students. No, so this one will be students. Okay, so that is it. Then let's just put space here. Then, so what we are looking for is this. Let's print the, let's say, top student. So the top student will be highest student. So let's duplicate. Then this one will be highest score. So we are looking for highest score. So highest score. Then this one will be, okay, so let's just, this one will be highest score. So the last one we are looking for is average. Average score. So we've already gotten the average score, don't forget. So the average score is average score. We just say average score. So that is it. So we are looking for this. So you can see this is a dictionary that has the name of the student and their score. So these are all our calculation, and then this is the highest student. This is the highest student. Highest student. Okay. So let's run it. As our normal tradition, we will clear to make sure everything is good. So you can see top student is what? Is Mary, and the highest score is 95. While the average score, when you add all the score together and divide by the length, 1, 2, 3, 4, divide by 4 will give you what? It will give you this 86.5. So that is it about this one. Um, so far so good. This is the project, and we want to do the next section will be for the highest, will be the final capstone project, which is Enterprise AI Recruitment Screening System. Thank you for watching. And thank you for staying tuned. Stay tuned to go to the next project. This is the moment, the grand finale, the Enterprise AI Recruitment Screening System. This combines everything we've learned, like lists, dictionary, set, string, loop, list comprehension, all of it. Now, the workflow. Candidate enters their skill. The system matches them against required skill. It calculates a score. It generates a screening report, and then it decides shortlist or reject. This is literally the system used by AI companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft to screen candidates. You are building it. All right, so this is the final capstone project. Um, okay, I'll use a comment to describe this now. I will say, let me just write this like this: final capstone project. So I will say enterprise AI recruitment screening system. Yes. So let's start. So as you know, we use this for just decoration purpose. So at this time we'll put 60. 60. So say this. So I'll say enterprise AI recruitment, enterprise AI recruitment screening system. Then I will print. So let's say 60, and then let's be sure it's working. So um, let's push this to the right a bit. Okay, that's one again, and be sure it's working. So it's working. It's working. It work. So don't forget to always clear your screen so that you will have a very clean work on your console. So I will see requirements or required skills. So required skills. Let's say Python, SQL, SQL. So we are using set here. So cloud. Then the next one is AI. Just used AI. So we say candidate. So candidate name will be put the candidate's name. So it's more like we want to build a very unified application. Candidate name. So let's say candidate skills. Candidate skills. So this one too will be input. So the candidate can enter their skills. So you can say enter skills. Let me put this. Let me just say combine. Just for you to comma separated. Okay, so we'll say skills. So we will convert the skills to set. Convert the skill to set. So let's say candidate skills. First of all, we are also converting it to lowercase. Then also we are going to split. So anyhow you input the skill, it will be it's not going to break the program. So matched, let's just say matched underscore skills equals to let's say this is empty. So we are going to append use the append keyword. So in skills So we say skill equals to, let's say skill dot strip. So strip any space that you find. So skills in acquired skill, acquired skills. Then let's say match skills. So when the skill is matched, then it will append and they will be stored inside the skill. Append. So after stripping here, then they'll be stored inside this match skills, which is an empty list. In other programming language, you call them array. So we say score equals to, so friends, let's say match skills. So let's say candidate. So we are going to use yes, dictionary now. So we'll say the name the candidates, then let's call candidate name, then we'll say match skills, match underscore skills, match skills, then we'll assign it to our match skills. So you see, then the score will be assigned to score as well. Assigned to score. It's as simple as that. Then let's put some space. Let's say print space. So let's say print. Uh, let's say um, this. Let's use this to just put some. So print. Now say screening report. So we'll say report. So the screening report. Now we can now say print, and candidate. Candidate. Then let's say name. Name. Candidate. So name. So space again. Space again. Then we can say print. Then match skills now. Let's say match skills. Then let's look through. And I'll say for skill in candidate. So can now call the match skill now. This is it. Okay, this is it. Okay, we have to put it in quote. Okay, so this is correct. Then we can now say, let's just say print for some space. Then we can say print total skills match. Right? Look, guys, you need to really practice this. This is excellent. This is very good, and there are a lot here. So we are using length to look for the length of the candidate, of the skills, length of this candidate skills. So yeah, So this is it. Then we print again. Then we can say final. Can say final score. Final score candidates. Then I now say score. Print again. Then let's put some condition. So candidate, so score greater than or equals to 4. Then print. Can print and say status. Let us say highly recommended. Then you can say elif candidates score greater than or equals to 3. Then we can print status. Say let's say shortlisted. Then you can say elif again. Candidates score. So this time it will be greater than or equals to 2. So let's print equals to 2. Let's say status. Then we have consider. Then let's say S. Status. So just know anytime you get rejected, there's something like this working behind the scene that is rejecting you. So, brother, sister, you need to practice. You need to practice all these things. And after practicing, you just need to work on your CV well. And there you go. So then let's see. And let us use the word end of report. End of report. Then yes, so that is it. That is it. It's quite some code here. This is quite some code here. It's a lot. You can see. This is just decoration, and this is the list of skills. This is the list of skills required, and this is where the candidate will have to enter their name. It will ask the candidate, then the candidate will enter their skills. Then here it's going to change the skill to what? To lowercase. Then also split them. Change them to lowercase. Then it's going to split them with comma, and everything will be stored here. The skill you entered here will be stored here. Then there is an empty list here. So you have something you want to loop through skill. So you're saying skill in skills. So you have all your skills stored here. So it says skill is equal to skill dot strip. So if there is any space, within the word, it will do what? It will strip them and store them here. Then there is conditional statement here. There's condition here saying if skill in required skill. So if the skill the candidate have entered here is among all the skills, that's what he's saying here, then it will do what? It will be stored in this place. It will be stored. That's why you are using the append keyword. This is placed inside the append. Then it will be stored here. then the score. So this is another variable. Then the length of what? Of the skills. How many skills does this candidate have? How many skills does the candidate have? Python, SQL, Cloud, and AI. So it's going to count. So if the candidate have 5, it will count and store them here. Then this candidate information is stored as a dictionary here, and it's being placed inside the candidate dictionary. So you have the name of the candidates is being fetched from here, candidate's name, while the match skills is being here, fetched from here and stored here. Then we also have the score is being fetched from here and stored here. Basically, it's being stored here. So we have them in what? In dictionary now. Now it is well arranged. And then we have, just for decoration, then we have print candidate, then it will print the candidate's name, then it will also print match skills. Then we are now looking through the candidates and candidates skills now. Now, so we have this that is storing from here. Now, this is the match skills. Match skills. We are matching this into this. So for you to access what is inside the dictionary, you have to do what? You have to put them inside the square bracket. Inside the square bracket. So you have the dictionary candidates, then the attribute inside the dictionary, which is this. So they are all now stored inside the skills. So you are now print, then you are printing out the skills. You see, printing out the skills. Then secondly, you are printing out the total skilled match. So you print out, you use the length keyword to look for the word for the match. For the match, you use the length keyword to look for the match. So the skills, how many skills, then it will give you the length. Don't forget we use the length here for skills, match skills, then match skills. So we've used it here before. Match skills. Then final score candidate which is coming from here, then you now print this score which is here. Print the score here. Then now if candidate score is greater than or equals to 4, it will print status highly recommended. This is highly recommended. Then yes, if candidate score is greater than or equals to 3, it will print status shortlisted. It is being shortlisted either for interview or for interview chat. Then if candidate is greater than or equals to 2, it will print status, then consider for what? Interview. Yes, it will print status rejected. So you are rejected if you did not meet up to the score, then end of the program. So let's run the program and see. I'm going to come here and print the program right away. So so you have the candidate name is let's say Jude. Then the skills, so we can say Python. Then we have Java, then we have SQL, we have Cloud. So you can see now we have the skills entered is what? Python, Java, SQL, and Cloud. You can see. Then the screening report is this Jude. Jude has match skills is what? Cloud, Python, then SQL. So total skill is what? 3. Then final score is what? Is 3. Then startup shortlisted for what? For interview. So thank you for watching. You can run this test, go through it. So this is a very good program that will get you started with Python. These are mini programs that will make you get familiar with the code. So these are the things we've been using. We've been trying to practice from day 1, from the week 1, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, up to day 7 of week 1 and day 7 of week 7. Thank you for staying with us, and I wish you well in your journey. Stay tuned for week 3 coming next week. Take a moment. Just take a moment. You just completed week 2. Look at what you've achieved. You know lists, you know tuple, you know dictionaries, you know sets. You can manipulate string like a pro. You've mastered list comprehension. You've processed data. You've built AI mini projects. And you've developed a full enterprise AI recruitment screening system. Now, do you realize what this means? 2 weeks ago, you wrote Hello World. Today, you are building AI system that could be used by Fortune 500 companies. This is not just learning, this is transformation. Remember, the world best AI engineers didn't start as experts. They started exactly where you are. They struggle, they practice, they build, and now they are building the future. You are on that exact same path, and I am so proud of you. Week 3 is coming, and it's going to be even more powerful. But for now, celebrate this win. You've earned it. Thank you for staying tuned, and week 3 is loading next.